scream.
We scream.
We all scream for ice cream.
Yes, and who doesn't love a bit of ice cream for breakfast? Tony Keogh from Cornucopia has a delicious recipe for us this morning. It does look really pretty, I have to say.
It does look very impressive, Tony.
This is the breakfast.
We should be surprised.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emil. This is the breakfast of champions, guys, I have to say. This will fill you up.
Well, there's a bit of granola in there, I can see.
Yeah, there's granola in there. Well, it's a kind of granola. It's like a kind of an oat crunch. And then there's a caramel sauce. It's like a quick caramel sauce. And then there's a really rich chocolate ice cream.
Is that why there's so little of it?
That's why there's so little of it. Now, to make vegan ice cream as opposed to regular ice cream, it's really about substitutions. So rather than using dairy cream, we're going to use coconut cream. Now, I use the high-fat coconut cream here. That's important. Now, not all coconut milks, should I say, are made equal. Look out for brands like Thai Gold, because they've got a very high concentration of coconut in them as opposed to stabilisers. So that's the coconut in the bowl there. I have some agave syrup. Now, I'm using agave syrup because the liquid sugar works better than crystal sugar in ice cream. It stops the crystals forming.
And that's quite important, I find, because I've tried vegan ice cream before, and it was quite bitty or crystally, I think.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? Yeah, it can be like that. And especially if you leave it out of the freezer for a few minutes and put it back in. I've just put in some cocoa powder there as well, just about 20 grams of cocoa powder. And then the secret ingredient, a little bit of coffee, a little bit of salt. The coffee enhances the flavour.
Is that just instant coffee?
Just instant coffee, yeah, instant coffee. Good quality instant ground coffee. Pinch of salt. The salt helps bring out the sweetness. Pop it in there as well.
Do you know what?
It's really good. You weren't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it to be like this, I have to say, Tony.
Good, I'm glad.
So because there's different ways of doing ice cream.
Yeah.
So this is the fat content is the difference, is it?
The fat content makes it rich and creamy. Now, if you make it with a slightly lower fat, you get a more voluminous ice cream, which will kind of rise up more, and that definitely needs to be churned. But if you put in a bit more fat, it stops the crystals forming as well, and it's a bit richer, but it doesn't need as much churning.
It's almost near like a frozen chocolate mousse or something, isn't it? It's really smooth.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I have here as well, this is another trick here as well. So rather than using egg yolks, I've got corn flour and water, which are cooked together here. Just corn flour and water to make kind of a gel. That also works as an emulsifier. That brings the fats and the water together in the ice cream.
Do that when I'm making slime with my kid.
Yeah.
Slime.
I've googled that. So how do you make? No,
That's another. And water.
Slime.
Yeah, kind of like stir it all.
That's 100 mils of water and a tablespoon of corn flour. Just boil it up. That's it. And that's your corn flour slime. And then a little bit of chocolate here. Now I've melted chocolate here with some coconut oil. Now the coconut oil can be omitted for a slightly lower fat version as well. So it's basically 120 grams of good quality chocolate. Now I've used the 54% chocolate there now. And again, just check the ingredients to make sure that it's plant-based. There's no milk solids in it.
So 50%, and that's dark chocolate, is it?
Yeah, it's a darker chocolate. It's a dark chocolate, but it's not. It wouldn't be as much as the 70%.
Okay.
So I'm just going to whisk that in there, and now this is basically the ice cream mix. That's basically it. So I'm going to give that a blend.
Oh, someone's got a sweet tooth anyway. You enjoy that? Only you don't even finish it.
And that's just there. So now, and I forgot to add vanilla to it, but it won't really matter too much.
What,
there's vanilla in yours now.
Essence, is it?
I just use vanilla extract, just about a teaspoon, which should be fine. This is my one for later on, so this is my dinner for tonight.
Okay. So then an ice cream maker. So
well, you've got two choices. One, you can pour it directly into a Tupperware container, pop it in the freezer, stir it every couple of hours. The second option then, which I'm going to do with that one, that's coming home with me. I'm going to make a no churn or a low churn ice cream.
Oh, what? Just stir? Give it a...
Yeah, every hour or so, give it a stir to break the crystals. Get them with a whisk. A good way of doing it is to get the whisk like this between your hands.
Oh, yeah.
And just break it. It breaks up the crystals about every hour or so. It'll get too stiff. Once it gets too stiff to stir, it's ready. Do you know? The other option then is an ice cream maker, which I have here. This is my ice cream, which I've made here. I'll pop it there.
And where can you get them easy enough in electrical shops?
Anywhere. They're only 20 quid, 25 quid. I got this in Aldi about 15 years ago.
Middle aisle, love that.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? The middle aisle in Aldi. Oh my God, it's the only place we can go these days.
Yeah, exactly.
It never breaks. Paddle here. So basically, you turn it on. That turns. And that just churns the ice cream. So this is a frozen bowl. So basically, you put this in the freezer overnight. It freezes up the inside, and it stops crystals forming.
And so how long do you need to put it in that with the thing churning?
About half an hour, 40 minutes.
Okay, and leave it.
And that's it. Yeah. And then into the freezer for about 4 hours. And that's it then. And then to go with that, I've got a caramel sauce. So I have here some coconut oil, agave syrup. Now I'm going to drop in some almond butter, a little bit of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt.
And Tony, is it less calorific, vegan ice cream, or no?
Not necessarily. It depends on the type you make. But I mean, as I said, it's the same as a non-dairy ice cream or a dairy ice cream. It really depends on the way you make it and what process you use.
Sceptical about this caramel as well, but it's actually good.
Yeah, but you can. Yeah, and this
scream for seconds.
This is a quick caramel. So as you can see, it's coming together there. That's just like literally 3 ingredients, and then a little bit of vanilla and salt, and then you end up with your caramel. You can see it's forming there. So now the thing with this, you have to let it cool a little bit. So I'll just leave that there for now. Here's one I made earlier. You can see it kind of gets a nice caramel effect. So just take a little bit in the plate, like so.
Wow.
It's nice and rich. And then the next part, we have the ice cream, which is...
You're not going granola first?
Oh, granola first, yeah. Thanks, Tommy. Right, you are. These oat crunches. Yeah, these oat crunches. The recipe's on the website for the oat crunch as well.
It's like I'm going to be eating that now that I want to.
No worries. The ice cream is starting to melt a little bit here, but it'll be fine.
Right.
So you can see it's kind of rich. But the good thing about...
It is very rich, but...
And the good thing about this ice cream as well, it lasts a bit longer outside the freezer.
Does it?
Yeah. Because it's got such a high fat content.
And would you take it out for 10 minutes before serving, just so that it's the right texture for...
Yeah, oh yeah, I had that out actually like 20 minutes beforehand.
Oh, would you?
20 minutes before, but 10 minutes is fine, but just to get that nice, really soft, moussey texture, give it about, yeah.
If I'm watching Line of Duty tonight now, could I sit there and just scoop away eating it?
Well, you could, and Line of Duty is brilliant, isn't it? Oh my God, I watched the first episode last night.
I haven't watched the last one.
I won't say anything.
Yeah,
I won't say anything.
But no, and so just like a treat like that, it wouldn't be too rich, would it, to kind of just...
Well, to have a small amount of that, it's fine. But again, you can substitute the cocoa and the chocolate. You can change the ratios. So you can use a lower fat coconut milk. Or another thing, you could use a soya milk, which is very low in fat. And you can keep all the other ingredients the same. That will make it lower in fat. And it'll also get more of a kind of a moussey, airy ice cream when you whip it up. But you're basically just substituting the eggs for corn flour and the cream for coconut milk. And then the sugar you're substituting for is sugar syrup. And just the combination of those 3 work in the same way as you find in a dairy ice cream. You get a similar effect. You know, you wouldn't miss it, would you?
No, I would substitute that easy.
I'm
really
impressed.
tasty.
Yeah, fair play, Tony. Thanks for that.